Hanging with Hennig live at Tropicana in Atlantic City. And of course, Boxing Insider Promotions will be back here Friday, November 7th. Don't miss out on the return of the man himself, the undefeated super welterweight, the NABF junior super welterweight champion, the man himself, Justin Figueroa. He is joining us right here on location on 97.3 ESPN. Justin, welcome in. How you doing today, my friend?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for having me, Josh. It's my honor to be here with you to do this radio show. At the moment, I'm cutting weight for this fight for November 7th here in Tropicana, but right now I'm smelling chicken wings. I think it's coming from Chickies and Pete's. It's making me pretty hungry. They smell really good, but like I said, I'm cutting weight, but I'm ready for this fight November 7th.
Let's talk about your journey, because you and I have had multiple conversations about your evolution over the years. And, you having this belt on your shoulder, it's a part of that journey, right? This is not the end point for you, right?
Oh, of course. So the belt that's on my shoulder, the title that's on my shoulder, this is a regional belt. The goal is to become a world champion. So this is the first step to becoming a world champion. This is a regional championship right here. The regional championship, you fight 8 rounds. So my upcoming fight is an 8-round fight. If it goes all 8 rounds, then you guys are in treat for a great fight. But I'm looking to knock this guy out.
Now, before we get to Friday, November 7th, Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City, let's go back a little bit. This summer when you got that belt, give the audience a little perspective on your experience going through that, because you weren't in Atlantic City, you were in Texas. So different environment, different situation when you had the chance to get that belt. Talk about that experience and maybe a little bit what you learned from it.
Correct. So my last fight, August 23rd, when I had fought for this title in San Antonio, Texas, this was my first opportunity to fight for a professional title like this. And it was my first time fighting in an 8-round fight. Usually I fought in 6-round and 4-round fights before that. My record was 12-0 with 10 knockouts. I only had 2 fights that went 6 rounds. So this was new territory for me. My opponent that I had fought had never been dropped, had never been stopped. So he was a formidable foe. He was very, very game. But I fought in San Antonio one time before, so I'm pretty used to the crowd. I played high school sports and sports all throughout my life. So I'm used to competing and performing in other people's house. And of course, I love competing in my house. But when I go to other people's house, I love to make new fans. And I believe that's exactly what I did. And that's exactly what I do. But my opponent was game. I dropped him in the first round. I thought I was going to get him out of there because I had a hell of a camp with my coaches. I was super focused. I definitely wanted to bring this belt back to Atlantic City. But my man, he got back up in that first round, and we fought a good 8 rounds. And I ended up winning a unanimous decision against a very tough opponent.
And I think it's a good point you bring up Justin Figueroa joining us, fighting on Friday, November 7th. Tickets on sale now. Justin, plug your social media if people can get the tickets from you.
Yes, sir. I'm on Instagram at Justin Figueroa, a.k.a. Mr. Atlantic City. You can reach out to me for tickets if you guys would love to come to the show. Do not miss the show. You got me competing on there. You got world-class heavyweight Otto Wallen, among other great upcoming fighters and local fighters.
Yeah, we had Leah Lewandowski last week here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Her story, she's only been boxing for 5 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's just, and she was in the Olympic trials just a couple of years ago. So
very cool.
Her story is wild. But back to you in your summer, when he got up off the mat, I feel like that was a moment, because I was watching the fight at home, and it was kind of like there was a part of you that, like, if that was you 3 years ago,
yeah,
it would have been like a different look on your face. But instead, you were just like, hey, this is part of the fight now. Whereas maybe a couple of years ago, you might have been a little bit like, oh, he's getting up.
Yeah, when he had went down, I didn't expect him to go down. I just hit him with a good shot. I set up a good shot and hit him with a good shot right by the ear. So I hit him right in that equilibrium, which could throw your balance off. And he went down, and I was like, oh snap, he's down. This may be over. The way he fell over.
Going home.
So yeah, hey, man, this was a quick night. This was an easy night. I knew I put the work in for this, but when I got back to the corner, he got up pretty quick, and he was in good shape. I could tell he was in good shape by the weigh-in, and I knew he was coming. He wanted to win. So when he got up, him being in good shape, he recovered quick. And in my head, and also with my coaches in the corner, they were like, take your time, take your time.
Yep.
So I just wanted to take my time and display my skills and display my talent. And if the knockout came, the knockout came. I wasn't rushing that knockdown. It just came. Right. So I wanted to continue that. But in the beginning of my career, if I knocked the guy down, pretty much looking like a knockout, I was hoping that a referee will wave it off. Like, oh, great, I got the job done. But this time, I love to get the rounds, and I love to get the experience. I just enjoy what I do.
You mentioned, we talked about this before we got on here when you came over, Justin, is that you can punch. You got the power in your hand, but it's also the refinement of your skill. What has been the biggest evolution for you as a fighter over the last 3 years?
Honestly, I think the biggest thing for me was, when I first turned pro, just learning the ins and outs. Everything has ins and outs of everything.
Mhm.
Between doing this podcast, between boxing, between gambling. You just don't jump on a blackjack table and, you know, you get your first card and go, I'm going to hit the next card or not hit. It's strategic. You're strategic about everything. So I wanted to continue to learn the ins and outs of boxing. I knew it was more than just fighting and throwing fists. It's much, much more than that. They say that boxing is 90% mental. And I definitely believe that, so I'm still learning. And also the biggest thing was, my attributes, speed, power, athleticism. I knew I had all that. And I was trying to figure out what was the difference between me and these world-class level fighters. And then I finally understood it. They are so composed with being right in front of you in punching range,
Right.
and just being comfortable and fighting you right in front of your face. And that's what I got better at over time.
Justin, quick question for you. I grew up watching boxing a lot, especially when they used to have it at the Claridge here in town. How do you feel between fights? Is there a certain amount of time like if you win in the first round, you have no problem fighting a month, 2 months, 3 months later? Or is everything the same whether you go first round or you go to the sixth round? Like, how do you schedule your stuff out?
Well, we go back to the drawing board and the table. I talk with my manager. I talk with Larry Goldberg from Boxing Insider, the promoter, and we figure out what is the next appropriate date to, continue this journey. At this point in my career, I'm pretty much rolling over guys, so I'm able to get in and out the ring safely. No injuries, no cuts, no bumps and bruises, really, no hand injuries. So I'm taking most of my wear and tear during camp where I'm sparring former world champions, or I'm just sparring some live dogs. So I'm having real fights 3-4 times a week in sparring and practice. So just the camps alone is a lot of wear and tear. I wouldn't say so much from the fights just yet until I step up in that world-class competition, because I believe I will be a world-class fighter very, very soon, if not now. But if I have a grueling camp and I put a lot of work in and I killed myself in the camp, I may need about a month off just to recover. As soon as I take that month off, and mind you, when I say a month off from, being on certain people's time, my coach's time, a month of more of a free schedule. I'm not a clear schedule, a clear mind.
Because I want to verify.
Because I'm always training. I'm always ready to
exactly.
fight.
Like, I've known you for a couple of years now, and like you are not somebody who like you go for a month, you go on like a food eating binge or some for a month, or you don't run it all for a month. Like I remember I texted you one time because you were running at like 2:00 in the morning, and it's like, Justin, you realize you just fought 2 weeks ago, and you're just like, I couldn't sleep.
Yeah. I just love to train, and I love to compete, and I love to stay in shape. So if I'm all good, my body's all good to go, then let's get back in the ring as soon as possible. And this is also how I make my money. So let's keep the money rolling in.
So your last fight in San Antonio, a good distance away. Not too many local people are going down there to watch that. We've interviewed a lot of athletes, whether college football, pro football, basketball, whatever. And you talk to people that make it to the championship or the game to get in the championship. Every time you fight, it's almost like a championship. Okay. So my point is, some of these athletes, they actually like going on the road because there's more distractions when they're home playing.
Yeah.
Do you feel that here in Atlantic City? Like would you rather fight here or would you rather go on the road and fight? I know it's a crazy question.
I like the question because it makes me think, and I love to have conversation with people that make me think, because I'm also answering questions about myself and finding out more about myself as I speak. But of course, I love to fight home because, one, making weight, I have a sauna at my house, so it's easy to cut weight. It's easy to make weight.
You know exactly where you are.
I know exactly where I am, exactly. When I travel, sometimes you may gain some water weight with traveling with the plane and stuff. You're in uncomfortable territory with not being home, not being at your home gym. Maybe you have to find a sauna. So that's a little bit with what I think from home and away. But when it comes to fighting home, the love and support, when I walk out there, I'm super, super fired up seeing all my people ready for me to put on the show. So that fires me up. So the only thing between fighting here and fighting away, it's a lot of love here and I'm ready to put on a show. But when I go away, it's strictly business.
Gotcha.
I can be getting booed.
Great
I could be
answer.
getting love. It doesn't matter because I'm here for one reason, and it's to handle business so I can go back home and put on another great show for my city.
Couple more for Justin Figueroa, undefeated Justin Figueroa from Atlantic City, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Super welterweight's where you're at now.
Uh-huh.
How comfortable are you right here in this weight class? And where do you foresee yourself? Because a lot of fighters, they over time will grow into a larger frame. You and I have had the conversation before. Yeah. So, what do you think is like if you had to put like a number on it, like scale of 1 to 5, like how comfortable are you at super welterweight, and where do you see your body evolving over time?
I say I'm about at a 4 at 154. It's definitely tough to get down. It's not my walk around weight, 154 pounds, but it comes with the game to get down as much as you can to kind of get a good advantage and to be able to compete around that weight class. So I weigh in at 154, and I could get up to, by the time I get in the ring the next night, I'm about 170 pounds. So I'm a big guy. I walk around about 170, 175.
Right.
And honestly, a couple years ago when I was playing football, I was 200, 215. So like I said, I'm a big guy. You can tell my shoulders, you can tell my frame and my back when you see me in the ring. But when I'm in shape, when I'm living a very, very healthy lifestyle, I can make 154 pretty easy, but I think I will reign at 160 eventually.
So you just blew my mind there. So when
he doesn't understand.
When you make when you make weight, and then you say I can jump up to, what are you eating? Like what's your to go eat that I can't wait to eat this, and then you're just eating like almost like
I want to give a plug in to Chef Volas. We go me and my manager and my team and my lady who's soon to be my wife. We go to Chef Volas every time after I weigh in. So eat up over there, pasta. We get the veal parm, crab cakes. We get Chef Volas, very, very good Italian food. Banana cream pie. You called it out right there. But honestly, let me just say a lot of it is water weight.
Is it?
Right.
I heard that 1 gallon is 8 pounds.
Yep.
So a lot of it is water weight. And I could tell a lot of it is water weight because after the fight, the next day I wake up, I'm back down to like 162. So the weight fluctuates. I think it's really just a lot of it is the water weight.
Well, because the other thing is, like, and you know this as well as anyone, and I can only say that because I'm a certified nutritionist. There's a lot of times if you're eating good food, it gets used immediately by the body.
Yeah.
It doesn't go into storage. So if the good food is going into your body constantly, you're not holding on to it as storage weight. You're using it as fuel weight.
Okay.
So for someone like you, you're constantly training, you're constantly fighting. So your body is constantly looking for that fuel and that nutrition. So when you cut all that weight, when you put that food back in, your body's like, thank God I got some fuel here.
Most definitely, especially during fight week when barely, I'm still eating 2-3 times a day, but meals are very, very small, very, very strict on carbs. I'm even getting strict on salt, sodium as I get closer
sodium
to
retention.
Sodium retention as I get closer to weighing in. So my stomach is shrinking, my body's screaming for food. And by the time I get to, rehydrate and eat again, my body's like, thank you, God. Thank you, Justin. Now it's time to fight. You're all fueled up. Now it's time to fight.
Justin, before we let you go, and we appreciate you joining us out here at Tropicana's Gridiron Pit here in Atlantic City on Friday, November 7th. Someone listening on the radio on 97.3 ESPN, or they're watching on YouTube and X, wherever they're watching our conversation. For someone who's never seen you fight before, tell them what they can expect to see on Friday, November 7th.
So what you can expect to see on November 7th here in the Tropicana on Boxing Insider Promotions. And again, I'm also here with Josh Hennig on a great radio show, ESPN 97.3. But on November 7th, I believe I bring the whole package. I believe I bring knockout power, speed, skills. I'm not so bad looking. And also, I just brought the belt back to Atlantic City. There hasn't been a champion in Atlantic City since 2012.
Yep.
2012. It's 2025.
It's been too long.
It's been way too long. Atlantic City now has a champion, and this belt right here is here to stay. I'm here to stay. So my opponent, he's coming off an upset victory. He knocked out a guy who was 12-0, so he's flying high. He's feeling really confident. But I'm gonna bring him back down to earth, November 7th.
Of course, as we mentioned, November 7th is the stacked card. Of course, Justin is a part of that card, the undefeated super welterweight, as well as Academy High School graduate Bruce Sullivan Jr., rising star in the women's boxing world, Leah Lewandowski, an internationally top 10 ranked heavyweight Otto Whale, and just some of the great fighters who will be in action Friday, November 7th, presented by Boxing Insider Promotions in the Tropicana Showroom in Atlantic City. Justin, appreciate you stopping by today.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Josh Hennig, Mike Carlin. We got one more segment coming up. We will announce coming up on the other side who the winner is for our prize giveaways and plus give our predictions for the Eagles-Giants game. Do you have a prediction for the Eagles-Giants game, Justin?
I know the Giants put a whooping on the Birds the last time out. I know the Birds are coming with a vengeance this game, so let's give it a 30-27 for the Birds.
30-27 Birds. Justin Figueroa.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm just letting you know if that ends up landing, we're all going to go to play roulette or something together.
For sure, I'll be here. I'll be here.
November 7th.
Yes, sir.
More hanging with Hennig coming up next. 97.3 ESPN.